What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Presidential Executives. What's going on? This your boy right here, JB. This is my brother over here, El Presidente. Rag. What's going on, my brother?
Man, what it do, man? Look, I'm so glad I pulled this joker up. And it came right to the. I was telling y'all about to share it. I was about to share the live feed, and I'm like, as soon as I went, it was like,
or whatever. May not see it in real time, but go ahead and do that for us. And we're on wherever you stream podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and
Stitcher.
All right, now it's been a lot of stuff been happening, right?
Man, what we got been going on?
It's been a lot of stuff been popping off, man. We got Diddy. You know what I mean? Like,
I saw somebody say the feds, when they went in his house, they found a box of porn labeled "Take that."
Oh wow!
I don't know if that was for real. I think somebody might have made that up.
It might have been for real. And you see now, instead of I don't know if you've seen the last couple of days, instead of people saying no homo, now they saying no Diddy. No, they said they're like they gonna say not no Diddy, not no homo. But get to the nitty gritty, man. Diddy house got raided yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Both houses.
Right. And so as of the time of us making this video, it is what, Tuesday, March 26th. So we're talking about Monday the 25th.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So his houses, both houses, because he got a house in L.A., in Miami, and probably other places too, but those two specifically got raided. And I think a couple of his family members got taken in. I think what's his name? Justin, his son,
two of his sons and one of his daughters.
King Comb. Can't think of that's his real name, but King Comb is his stage name. And a couple of his daughters, you say?
No, it was two of his sons and one of his daughters.
One of his daughters.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the twins?
I don't know. Well, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
whatever one of the daughters was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know he got twins, so
right.
I don't know his whole family tree as far as children go. But he got raided, and this is not the first time we talk about Diddy on here. We've been talking about Diddy at least once or twice this season. At least.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At least once or twice. So he's
yeah, because we talked about him with the whole Cassie situation.
Yeah.
Then we talked about it again with the what was it? We was talking about Dylan. And
said something
because the male producer said, the stuff.
Yeah.
And then now this, again.
Yeah.
We can't make this up. Like that's what's happening.
Right.
Like we not doing this, y'all.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
We're just the messengers, man. And obviously, if you want to get political with it, everything is alleged until he's proven guilty.
Right.
But let's keep it 100 though. The feds ain't coming to your house, ain't raiding your house, unless they got some type of evidence, somebody done snitch, you got some papers, you got some digital. Like, they just don't be raided. And I heard they raided both of the houses at the same time, so it couldn't be like they raided the L.A. house and then somebody in L.A., hey man, they raided the house. No, they raided them at the same time.
Yeah, it was coordinated,
you know what I mean?
SWAT teams and all that.
So, it ain't looking good. Ain't looking good for Brother Love. You know what I mean? And I saw our good brother Veli. He made a comment. I think he was just talking about, he hate people taking the joy out of somebody else's downfall. I think he made like something like that. Which I mean I get the premise of it, but for me personally, I'm kind of smiling and laughing just because I follow 50 Cent on Instagram. You know
50 gonna be trolling.
You know what I mean? If 50, if you're not following 50 Cent on Instagram, he has been trolling Diddy for the last. It's been a while. Like, I don't know the beef that they had. Whatever. It's been years, so it ain't just fresh. Like, it's been years. So he been getting on him, man. Because he actually the first person. I didn't even know his house got raided until I saw it on Instagram on 50 Cent's page.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, So he was on top of it, and so after that, then I Googled it, and I'm like, oh yeah, he being for real. But yeah, so his house got raided, and I just saw something now that I just saw this fresh off the presses. It was that his phones, his electronics got seized.
Oh,
Yeah, all his electronics or whatever got seized and stuff too. Now I don't know if this was true or not, but they were saying that he was trying to flee the country and go to another country that didn't have U.S. jurisdiction.
oh,
So they
right,
just
right,
can't
right.
willy
No
nilly go.
extradition policy
Yeah,
where they got to bring him back.
extradition. There you go. So, yeah, man, it's we talked about this in depth, and I don't know when the episode. It was a week or two ago, and we talked about the fetishes and all this other stuff that he'll have now because they're actually trying to investigate him for sex trafficking.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not, and that's a lot involved in that too. So it's just not
Yeah.
necessarily like, okay, you selling, you know what I'm saying, like being like a pimp, but it's sex trafficking is like more in detail. It's other stuff involved.
Kind of
in
like
that too.
how we were talking about with the Vince McMahon stuff.
Yeah.
Like where
Yeah,
you got somebody in your employ, but you're basically using them as like a, for lack of a better choice of words, like a sex slave. You passing them around.
Yeah. That's kind of what he did with Cassie. What Cassie was trying to say.
Right. That's what she was insinuating.
Yeah.
I've always said, like, and this has been my thing, and I got taught this at a young age. Like, I'll never forget, and I said this before on the pod, like, I was in the 4th grade, and, like, they used to bring, we had lunch, but then, like, they would bring, like, the snack cart around. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, if you want a snack, it'd be, like, some cookies and milk or some fruit and some milk or whatever. Well, now, I'm lactose intolerant, like, with milk, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't really do milk, like, cheese, but ice cream, I don't really do that a lot. But, so, like, definitely ain't getting no milk. But, like, some of my classmates, they had stole, off the milk cart. I saw it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, I saw it, but I ain't participate. So, long and short of it, they find out milk missing, who did it. Oh, it was the boys that did it. And so, like, I'm the new kid. It's like, oh, and I'm the only black one, too.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, well, you had to be involved in it. So everybody else is like, oh, yeah, it was all of us. I'm like, it wasn't me. And they like, oh, no, we all finna get in trouble. I'm like, look, I can't speak for nobody else. Roche didn't steal nothing. And so the principal kept saying, look, just go on and admit it, and then you can go back to class. So I was just like, look, I'm sick of being in here. All right, yeah, I did it, too. So, of course, I get tagged by my grandma. Because my grandma like, why you say? I'm like, I ain't steal it. Why you lie and say you stole it? They said I could go back to class. I was just trying to go back to class. So, of course, when I get back to the crib, Pops lit into me too. But the point he was making, it ain't because you stole. If you didn't steal, you didn't steal. But you should have, it would have been better for you to get in trouble for doing right. Because if you didn't steal and they would have got on you and you was innocent, we'd have been up there and handled that. But that little, 1 lick, 2 licks you would have got from the principal pales in comparison to the 10 that I got from my grandma and my pops.
Of course.
But he was like, man, if you innocent, man, go to death row being innocent. Yeah. Don't be walking around free and have everybody thinking you guilty. And so I brought that up to say, if Diddy is innocent, like with the Cassie thing, and with other people, you're settling out of court. So even if you're innocent, what you're making people think is now you're an easy target. So now, and you at some point you ain't gonna want to pay everybody, and then guess what happens when you don't want to pay everybody? Now they start doing that stuff. Yeah. And so Michael Jackson, and we had talked about this before. He said the worst thing he ever did was that first time he got accused was settling, because when he did that, it's like everybody who you ever met or knew is gonna say, I got this Michael Jackson story. And it don't have to have a shred of truth to it, but you settled. You know what I'm saying? And so it's better for you to go broke defending your name, because at least at the end of the day, you're innocent, as opposed to, okay, well, I got the money, I'm going to settle. They're like, oh, okay, well, if you're paying off, you must be guilty. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. Like, but again, am I surprised? Not really surprised. And somebody else brought up too as well, like they coming for Jay-Z next. From what, because 50 also, the master troller, made a post about Jay-Z earlier today. About him, being as tight as he was with Diddy, and and just think about it, man. Like, and we'll get into this talking about it too as well, about the Nickelodeon stuff, about the kids and all this stuff. But when you think about it, bro, like all the back in the day in the '90s, '80s, whatever, like a lot of stuff was just like, hey, it was cool.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say it was cool. It's like it
Well,
was kind of
yeah,
one of those things. Like, and I get what you're saying.
yeah, yeah,
Like, it was like people knew about it, but wasn't nobody going to jail over it.
correct.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, okay, well, don't let your sister go over there, cause they, they get nasty over there. Don't let your son go over there. They get nasty over there. And that was just kind of like, ain't nobody going to jail, but we know, oh, okay, keep them away from that situation. And so to your point, yeah, like people knew about, like, that's why it's called the casting couch. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like we didn't make that up in the 2010s, 2020s.
Yeah.
That was an old saying they had back like in the 30s. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that stuff been going on. Old girl that was in the Wizard of Oz, like Judy Garland. You know what I'm saying? The one that played as Dorothy. Like, she was one of them ones that they had like that. Marilyn Monroe was one of them ones that they had like that. Like, you look at all them old school starlets.
Yeah.
The ones that was really up on top. I forget the lady. I think it's the lady that played in that movie, No More Wire Hangers. She was like, no more wire hangers.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
But
Okay.
they said like people didn't like her because she had the reputation of she would sleep with directors, she would sleep with producers, she would sleep with. You know what I'm saying? And it was like a known thing. Like she would use her body to get what she wanted.
Right.
And so that made other people kind of upset. So like it was a known thing even back then. So like now, or like what'd you say earlier this year, exposure season? Like, are we surprised?
Exposure season, dog. Like it's, and I wouldn't say like it was cool. Which I'm glad you cleaned it up for me. But it's like it was more accepted.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, no, I knew what you were saying. Right. But sometimes people like, even though I don't respond to the comments, I be reading the comments.
You see it though.
And I don't know if you noticed, like, it's been a couple of people I had to like,
Yeah, you got to straighten
go and be like, and they don't never respond when I do that. But it's like, okay, if you watch the whole episode, sir,
Yeah.
This is what my co-host was clarifying. You know what I'm saying? My partner was saying this.
Yeah.
If you watch the whole thing,
Yeah.
But
So that's yeah, man. It's kind of unfortunate because when you mix drugs, alcohol, power, money, influence, you know what I mean? It's like, why not? And some people be like, I've heard the other argument. People be like, well, you at this status, man. So why don't you go get some girls your age, or 21 up, and 30 and over, stuff like that. I'm like, which I said on the show before. I was like, because like they don't, because they want that person, whatever that. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, okay, I could have this person, but I want her. You know what I mean? So it's not like, I get it, but some people have their own fetishes. They're, the younger they are, the more, gullible they are, the more maybe willing they're to do other things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we got common sense.
mm-hmm.
We have common sense until we start talking about relationships. When it comes to relationships, we get retarded. We get stupid. We lose all logic and reasoning.
I know, right?
When you go to buy milk from the grocery store, what you do? You always get one from the back. You get one with a later expiration date.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you go buy donuts, you don't get the ones that's been sitting up there all day. You be like, give me the ones that just came out the batter.
Fresh, hot.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly my point. So now when it come to people though, you know what I'm saying? Like, now don't get me wrong, like I'm not for no, pedophilia type stuff. But like if I can get some old ass draws, I could get 25. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause 25, now granted, it's some stuff, 38, 40 know that 25 don't know. You know what I'm saying? But like 25 just happy to be in the building.
Yeah.
If I'm a millionaire, multi-millionaire bitch, she just happy to be around.
Yeah.
She don't care nothing about no building, no bonds, no emotional type of connections and all of it. She just wants some shoes. She just want a bag. She just want to take a picture at a restaurant.
Yeah. And as you said before, what are us men? We're physical
visual.
You know,
Like
we're physical
and
and
Misty
visual
said it
beings.
the other week when she was here.
Yeah.
We get turned on by what we see.
Right. And so the younger you are, and I hope anybody take offense to this, just like you have a 22-year-old and you have a 35-year-old, and the 35-year-old and had a couple kids or whatever, still beautiful. None, against women that have kids, they still seeing women that have kids still look fine, bad, everything after that. But a 22-year-old stuff is intact. It's perky. It's prime. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's at its peak, position, so to speak. And so to act like us men are not aware of that, or you know what I'm saying, or maybe not even like you said, maybe just like even prefer it to a degree, would be insane, especially for somebody that has the money, power, and respect, because clearly they can go get some cougar anytime they want to. They can go get a 30, 40, 50-year-old married woman, whatever, anytime they want to. But the younger ones, it could be an ego thing as well, But I don't want to kind of get too much in that. But but with the whole Diddy thing, man, it's kind of giving me the R. Kelly vibe over again, as far as like the evidence keep on mounting and mounting and mounting, accumulating.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
To
like,
where it's like we can be like, hey, what if like he didn't really do it? Like it's like, yeah, Lee, it's a lot, and a lot of people coming out, and also this is another thing to think about. A lot of people about to start snitching, because if it's between Save and Diddy, or you know what I'm saying, or me getting like over this, like this, we ain't talking about no murder. We talking about, you know what I'm saying, sex trafficking, being with young girls. Like, hey, bro, like.
Well, and all it takes is when they start mentioning other people's names, like, oh, nigga, that wasn't me, that was him.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, hey, Diddy, you my boy, but come on, bro, like. Yeah, you were sloppy with it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but like when you talk about the ego thing, so he's not like Justin Bieber like blew up and was like that guy at 16, 17.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? 16, 17, he had 28, 30-year-old women trying to get with him at 16, 17. Yeah. So he's always going to stay within his age range. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But like you got to do like Diddy, like when Diddy actually became that guy.
Yeah, he was in his mid-20s.
You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I mean, like, you got to remember, in his mid-20s, because he's older than Big.
Yeah.
Big was 24 when he died. Mm-hmm. So Diddy was probably about maybe 26. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to say he's a couple of years older than Big.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, he's in his 50s now, but you got to think, he was damn near 30, when he was with J-Lo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, and at that point, like now you're the guy.
Yeah.
So now everybody on that pedestal when you're 30, 32, 35, and you still want to feel like, because at that time, J-Lo was like in her peak of her powers, like fresh off of the Fly Girls. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so now you got the baddest thing walking, mm-hmm. and then you lose that. So now, like, how do you bounce back? Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And then so like, oh, he get Cassie. Cassie was like 18, 20.
Yeah, super young.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, oh, damn, okay, yeah, that was J-Lo, but like, he got a 20-year-old, man. She bad too. 20. And she sing better than J-Lo too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, so that ego part of it.
And it bigs up his persona too.
And it makes him look more of that guy.
Yeah. Because now, not only you got a girl like J-Lo, which is, like you said, at the peak of her powers at that time, mm-hmm. making all them hits she did with Ja Rule and LL and stuff like that. But now it's like Diddy getting older, so now you get a cat, like, dang, you getting the girls that's like coming into, college and stuff, and so it's deep,
and then,
man.
what is it, the last chick he was with, was it Young Mamie?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's another one, like,
her, yeah.
You're constantly Steve Harvey daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, he was.
Now that was now I will say, as much as I would like to believe the nigga innocent to some degree, like the fact that you and your son was with the same chick, like that's kind of it's a little trafficky to me.
Oh yeah.
Definitely
sound like it for sure.
And keep in mind, like, don't get me wrong, Diddy ain't my favorite person. But nigga, I be listening to Biggie all the time, and so like you couldn't hear a Biggie album without hearing Diddy all over it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that.
He got them credits. Got them song credits because
You know,
he knew
yeah.
that even if he had a millisecond or a couple seconds of his voice on the song, he gonna get the same credit that Biggie got.
What's that song they had? Him, Mason, Biggie.
Well, 112.
No, it was them three on it.
More money, more
Yeah, more
problems?
money, more problems.
Yeah.
Like I can't even. That was my shit.
Yeah.
It's the D to the A to the D to the Y. I know you'd rather see me die than to see me
fly.
fly. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. That's
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no way you can listen to Mason and then skip Diddy and go straight to B-I-G-P-O.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't no way you can skip the middle verse of that joint with Busta Rhymes on the hook, the Victory joint.
Victory.
That was on the Fight Night game.
That's my joint. That's the
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. On there.
Dun,
The
dun,
rocket
dun.
thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That's my joint.
I mean, and it's Diddy and it's Biggie rapping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like all types of songs. Like, now don't get me wrong. Like I'll always be missing you, but like I ain't gotta listen to that one. But
Yeah, it's cool.
it's a lot of songs. You know that's a part of my childhood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's in my playlist, and it's like, and then even listening to some of the lyrics, that kind of gives context to some of the stuff. I mean, so it's I don't know, man.
It's deep, bro. It's deep, but yeah. So this is live in action. I think as we're talking now, certain information is coming in as we speak, and I think they said they caught Diddy's. They call him Drug Mule, the guy that was I guess giving him all the firearms and drugs and stuff like that. He got caught at the Miami airport today. I think trying to leave or whatever like that. So that's been reported. So yeah, it's a lot going on, and I'm interested to see. And so, but 50 Cent is the ultimate troller, and I can't even lie, man. As bad as this situation could be, like all you can do is just really laugh at 50 because he's been consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like one thing you can say about 50, he has been consistent the whole time. Like he was trashing Diddy years ago before this even became like a thing. So it's not even he's been on Diddy for years.
Man, and it's not letting up.
Nah, he ain't letting up.
He ain't letting up on him, Ja Rule, like
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah. He not letting up on anybody. So yeah, man, we'll keep you updated with that. Now, this next one here, I know this is you the MC. You know what I'm saying? So I know this is definitely in your lane, and in mine as well, because I'm a big fan of two of these guys. You know, like I said, I give Drake more respect than you do. You know what I mean? Just because,
okay.
yeah, But Kendrick Lamar, I think he was both in our top 10. When we did, you know what I'm saying, our top 25 MCs.
Shoot, 2 out of the 3 of them, I think, was in the top. You didn't have Cole in your top 10?
I think I had him right. I think I had him like number 11 or something. I think I had him number 11 or 12. He was right.
No, J. Cole is.
Yeah, he that dude. He that dude. But I think I put DMX in front of him. I think.
Oh.
But he was right there near my top 10. I got to go check. But Kendrick was for sure in my top 10. But Future and Metro Boomin came out with an album a few days ago.
Yep.
Right, they did a joint album. Mm-hmm. They did a joint album.
This is the first one because they're supposed to be doing another one.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like because it's like a part 1 and part 2.
Wow. So they came out with an album, and so now I woke up whenever that was. I don't know when did this happen? When did this happen? Was this like Friday? I think it was Friday, right? I think it was Friday because usually albums come out on Friday. So Friday they came out with what's the song called? Like That?
Yeah.
Like That. Mm-hmm. Now, to my surprise, we from where we from. You know what I'm saying? So when I heard it, it bring me back to the 90s, to the old that whole You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, and first when I heard Future on it, whatever, cool. And then I heard K Dot. Now the thing about this just for me. I know you may have a different perspective because you the MC. You see things that I don't see in this regard. Like K Dot was just like playing with it. He wasn't even like he went in, but he was just letting you know like I'm just playing around with this. Like, but if you want to try, I got some more for you. You know what I mean? Like it was. And I'm more of a Kendrick fan. I was talking to Anthony Sane. You know Anthony Sane, right? Yeah. He made a post or something. I talked about it. He was just like, "Hey man, I'm a Kendrick fan, but man, he don't put out enough music. I'll take Drake all day." Right? And I was like, "Yeah," but I was like, I would take quality over quantity because if you ask me, if you look at pound for pound all day solo albums. I'll take Kendrick. I think Kendrick has as many great albums or classic albums as Drake. But Drake drops more than Kendrick, and so now people are more like he drops more, and so that means he's better because he drops more. But just because you drop more doesn't mean that it's good, that it's better. You know what I mean? So I'm rocking with K Dot all day, and it's been some subliminals over the years with J. Cole, I think with K. Dot, or even with some Drake. I think, was it J. Cole with the line? He said, if it's a big three, I'm Muhammad Ali. He said that, right? J. Cole.
You said J. Cole.
I think he said that. He was like, if there's a big three, then I'm
Right.
Muhammad Ali. And I think he was talking about himself.
Right, Drake and Kendrick.
Drake and Kendrick. So, if he's saying he Ali, what he insinuate?
I'm the greatest.
He the greatest, right? And so one, that's a shot. I remember some years ago he said, I forgot something else, but he been throwing little like playful little jabs and stuff like that over the years, and it sounded like K Dot is kind of like, hey,
And they said, I know
enough.
big three, it's a big me.
Yeah, big. Ooh, speak on it, Rag. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, cause I'm here for it though. I'm here for it.
Kendrick is a better lyricist.
Oh.
Cole is a better rapper between the two. That's gonna go over a lot. Like so, a lot of people. Yeah, I know you with me. I'm saying for the audience, a lot of people. No, bro, no. Just from a rap standpoint,
for sure.
It's certain little nuances. It's like when you hear it, you know it. But Cole, and that's why people rock with Cole the way they do, because Cole be rapping his ass off. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Sonically, like the way it sounds.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Like the people's champ compared to Kendrick.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like it kind of like Cole is like that dude. Cole is like Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? Like you watching him, and he doing stuff. How Kyrie, when he dribble, you just in awe. You're in amazement. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like sometimes Kyrie only had like 24 points. But like if you was watching the game, you would have thought he had 60.
The way he was just,
you know what I'm saying? Like the way he moving. Whereas Kendrick is like like sometimes unless you watch the highlights, if you was just watching the whole game, like it was games where Jordan would have 48, and you didn't think, you were like, how you get 40? Like, dang, I don't even remember him drop. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like the whole game, he's just killing you.
Yeah. And he had probably 18 from the free throw line.
You see what I'm saying? And then, but when you go back and actually watch it, you start dissecting it. You're like, oh, he scored on the steal over here. He scored on the fast break. You know, Scotty stole it. He passed it to him. He finished the fast break, like you said. Oh, there's 10 free throws right there. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he came down 3-4 times in a row, hit the same fadeaway jump shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so when you dissect it like that, and so like that's the same thing like with Kendrick. Sometimes you can hear it and it may not sound as good as a Cole verse, but then when you go back and you start listening to like what he's saying, I mean, because for me, like I was always a Kendrick fan, but like going back to like Control, when he dropped that verse on Big Sean's song Control, you know what I'm saying? It's like not only did he change his style up like 3 times in the verse, but just like some of the stuff he was saying. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm on Poke, I'm the king of New York. Like that went over people's head because in the same bar he said, "My big homie's corrupt." That was a corrupt line from the song. I forget what I think it was New York, New York, but it was the video where the dog pound kicked the buildings over.
Yep.
That was a corrupt line. So when he said it, and then he was like, "My big homie corrupt," like that went right over. Like they missed it. You know what I'm saying? Like because they were just stuck on what he was saying, and they missed like, "Oh, this man connected the way he connected his bars." So going to the whole beef part though, like those three have always been looked at as like the top three in their draft class or in their positions. Like it fluctuates. But Future has also been dropping some lines at Drake. Yep. And if you remember, they did a album together.
They did. Years ago. Yep.
But I forget.
Jumpman? You call it Jumpman. The jump they did, I think it was some years ago. Could they tell me the joint album they did? Yeah.
Right. Okay. But like supposedly they're into it over a woman.
That's what I heard.
Which is why which is because people was wondering like, oh, I thought Future and Drake was cool. Why would Future co-sign Kendrick dissing Drake? You know, on a song that's, you know, essentially one of his songs. Mm-hmm. And it's like, but they got a falling out. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And to your point, it has been little things of where it's like, I think I can't remember which one it was. I don't want to be wrong, but I think it might have been Cole that was like, you know, I don't do something like, you know, you want to beef with me, like come at me, like I'll come at whoever. Like it ain't no, you know, subliminals like, you know, come at me, I'm gonna take your head off kind of mentality.
Yep. Say what's up.
And so sometimes Kendrick gotta every once in a while let y'all niggas know like I'm still on the porch, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all doing all that barking, but like when the big dog stand up on the porch, all the little dogs shut up. Mm-hmm. Like the nigga got a Pulitzer. At the end of the day, he do. To it's recognized not just as a music work of art, it's recognized as a literary work of art, which means like the words in it, like what you're saying, you're on the same level as a Mark Twain. You know what I'm saying? As a Truman Capote, as a Ernest Hemingway, like these Edgar Allan Poe, like these are great writers. F. Scott Fitzgerald, these are great writers. Yeah. Tennessee Williams, great writers. You're on that level of you ain't just rapping. Like no, you're
putting.
You know what I'm saying? Like nigga, you like Maya Angelou. You know what I'm saying? Like Robert Frost, nigga. Like you're, it's poetic. Yeah. And so you know, like again, when we get out our feelings and what sounds good.
Yeah.
And it's like watching a fight where you see somebody throw 100 punches. It's like, oh, he won the fight. Okay, but if the 100 punches didn't do nothing and I throw one and I lay you out.
Yeah.
If you're just looking at the 100 shots I'm taking, you think, oh, he got his ass whooped. But if I throw one like Debo and you go flying across the room, like who won the fight?
Now, I got a question for you. So, given you being the MC and all, if they spar back and forth, just like you said, which I agree with you when you broke it down. Cole is the better rapper, Kendrick is the better lyricist. So, but when you look at a diss or a rap battle, which one is higher on the scale, on the balance to you can be like, when you judge it, you can be like, yeah, he got like Cole got him or Kendrick got him, because I'll tell you what I think first, then I want to hear what you say. Like, how I look at it is, I don't know, because it really depends on the context and what you say. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? What you say as far as the metaphors, the analogy, is it true? All that stuff. Like, so when it comes to that, and I agree with you, I think Cole is a better rapper, because rapper includes everything, includes entertainment, how you say it, context, all this. Like, but as far as lyricists, you know what I'm saying, Kendrick gonna get you. You know what I mean? So when it comes to a diss, it like if and Kendrick can rap too. So if he kind of weaves in and out of his lyricist and rapper mode, I think then he can get he can get Cole. But if he just stay kind of just pure lyricist and just say
Right.
this and that, I think if they went head to head, Kendrick would lose. But if he got into his rapper bag as well, which he can, but I think Cole can do it better. It just kind of depends. So what you think about that?
To that point, I agree with that part 100%. Like I don't think Kendrick has the ability to dumb it down.
Yeah.
Because I've never not heard him being a lyricist, and which is why I said, because like how you pointed out, J. Cole can kind of stay in a lane of where if I'm not really paying attention to lyrics and there's a lot of stuff going over my head, like I could listen to him and still be like, "Ooh, that's a bar." But J. Cole, I think, works to make it digestible for everybody.
He do.
Whereas Kendrick is just like, "Fuck it, nigga, this a steak,"
Yeah.
and so you better figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you don't got no teeth. You better use a blender, nigga. Like you better figure this shit out. Like, but and he's amazing for it. You know what I'm saying? I think that if it comes down to it, because I look at it like, man, if it's a heavyweight fight, man, last good one. This was years ago, but you remember Evander Holyfield and Riddick Bowe, not the one where they was like kind of going back and forth.
Yeah.
Like that's Kendrick and Cole. You know what I'm saying? Or even better, Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the one where they both was just, man, for about 30 seconds, they were just, like one was giving the torso shots, the other one hitting straight to the face, like, and they both just going back and forth, like hitting each other. And you like, oh my God, this is amazing.
This
like
is the greatest fight ever.
Exactly. Like that's them.
Yeah. But it's like, how can you, like, even what Kendrick did on that, like that, he did some rap on that. You know what I'm saying? He was lyricist as well, but he tapped in a little bit on the rap bag to where I wouldn't say he dumbed it down, but it was clear what he was trying to present. I thought, you know what I mean? But if they go back and forth, just like with when Drake went against Pusha, you know what I'm saying? Drake was like,
yeah, it was interesting until it wasn't.
yeah, exactly. I agree. But it's like when Drake went against Pusha tapped into, he was a lyricist, but he also turned into that rapper to where it was like you knew clearly what he was saying. He wasn't just, he was giving facts. He was giving not opinions. You know what I mean? Like, I think Kendrick has to come to that mode and not just be like, just like you were saying about Eminem, because Eminem can be super lyrical and say things that rhyme that don't rhyme, but it's like, does it really fit kind of what you trying to say or this?
Well, I think so. Like with Eminem, if you notice, like when a lot of his best songs are his diss records. Like see any of the ones on Benzino, like I said, the one where him and Dre diss Jermaine Dupri, Say What You Say.
Yeah.
The joint where he was dissing Everlast, and of course, if you know the club party scene, college, everybody remember that song, Jump Around, Jump Around. Like that was like they had that group House of Pain.
Okay.
Like Everlast was the one who was rapping. He had a song on the D12 album called Girls where he was dissing Limp Bizkit and like all of his best songs, like where Eminem is really like, oh, now if I'm judging Eminem strictly off his diss records, like, oh yeah, he better than I, like, because he's got so many of them where it's just, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of his stuff was personal, right? So now when you're talking about these guys, it ain't just me clowning you like we checking or jonesing or what, like whatever they call it in other places, like the dozens or you know what I'm saying? Like,
you gotta get into it.
Yeah. The reason why Pushers was so good or why Nas was so good or even Jay-Z when, you know what I'm saying? Like it was personal shots in there. I don't think that Kendrick and Cole really have a personal beef.
Yeah.
It's more like a who's better.
It's a sparring.
You know what I'm saying? So like now, I'll even say like Royce and Lupe, like it was interesting, and then when Royce dropped the song, the one that was like 6 minutes long, it was over with. Like it don't matter what you say after that, Lupe. Like it's a done. You know what I'm saying? But it was a lot of personal shots in that. Um, and so like I don't think I think it'll be interesting because you got two of the greats.
For sure.
And not only I like this saying. I heard somebody that was talking about Mount Rushmore top five in comedy. He said I got a Mount Rushmore and I got a Mount Olympus. He's like Mount Olympus. He's like when somebody reach that God status, like oh you a Mount Olympus. Like we don't even put your face on the mountain no more. Like you in a whole nother tier. We don't even have to mention you. You know what I'm saying? And so
You talking
like
about that Godfrey episode with Shay Shay? Or are you talking about was that? I
was
know
that
Godfrey said something about top five. He put his Mount Rushmore. out
right?
there,
I
too.
think it might have been Aries Spears that said that on Vlad TV. He said he had a Mount Olympus,
Okay.
but um, and it might have been Godfrey though. But I remember Aries Spears was talking about you can't just have five because there's too many people in like he was talking about comedians. But I brought that up to say like when you talk about rappers, you're gonna have those like to me now, Tupac, Biggie, Rakim, Jay-Z, Nas, Eminem, like damn Mount Olympus. Like that goes without saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't just its longevity, it's classic albums and everything like that. And right now, to me, especially Kendrick and Cole, they're on Mount Rushmore right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're there right now. And I believe that when it's all said and done, they're gonna be on Mount Olympus. But I don't believe they have a personal beef towards each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't
So
think so
like,
either, yeah.
and so like I think it's gonna be interesting if they did decide to go that route. But unless they both just got a whole bunch of personal stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like unless Kendrick know that J. Cole was on Diddy Island or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Or
Right.
Cole know that Kendrick was slapping women or something like that, and that, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just gonna stay on some who's a better rapper type stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. So it sounds like you saying if it stay on that tip, if it's nothing personal, it sounds like you would maybe give the edge to Cole. And actually, we didn't even talk about Drake in this thing. No, you ain't even brought up Drake. You ain't even brought up Aubrey because
Drake
it's
is
like,
the Ringo of the three. If they're the Beatles, like you got Paul McCartney and John Lennon, and then Drake is like Ringo. Like he played the drums, it sounds good, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
Like Ringo's actually making a good living now. You know what I'm saying? Like he played the drums and that, but like ain't nobody checking for like, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I would give Drake credit. I think he can rap, but I think to what we were saying, Cole and Kendrick are just on an elite level to where whatever you think about Drake and he make pop music and stuff like that, he can't compete when it comes to, lyrical and rap. And it's subjective depending on how you digest music. You know what I'm saying? Because Drake is a lot of people's cup of tea because he's more relatable, but we come from the ilk of like being like almost like a purist, and so it's like Drake is. I respect Drake, but when it comes to like, that's why he was nowhere near my top 10 of greatest of all time because all the pop music that he makes is cool, but lyrically he can't. Now he puts together some good metaphors, and I'm not saying he can't rap. He definitely can rap, but when it comes to putting words together, like you can't put him on the same level as a Cole or Kendrick. He just makes good, digestible music.
Yeah, I mean like, I got Drake over Andre 3000 because he has more rap albums than Andre Adam.
He do. He do.
But I mean, that's just who's better. Andre hands down.
For sure.
But I can't have him,
Yeah, I'm with you.
But coming up, how like, you've heard all the stories. Like when we had a shout out to DJ Black, we had Ock Black over here, and we was talking about it, like the way we came up wasn't no take it home and come back. Mm-hmm. Nigga, you wrote right in the studio. You wrote right there. Like we're all in. Nobody leaving out the room. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Whoever got the hottest verse go. Like so, it's times like. And so, like, sometimes, like, the way I used to get on, like, look, I know I may not be able to, because when I first started rapping, I couldn't count bars. So, like, I didn't know where to stop it. So it's just like, okay, if I just find a little pocket, and so like that little pocket might only be 8 bars, it might only be 6 bars, it'd be weird. But like if I can get in this little, it might only be 4 bars. But if I can have this hot 4 bars, I'm a, you know what I'm saying? And I got on the song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so like, but that was how so now when you're talking about Kendrick, Kendrick to me seems like he came up around that, man, we all in here, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Cole, of course, and to me this is why I said I think Cole is a better rapper. Like Cole actually was with Jay-Z them.
He was.
You know, he got stamped by Jay-Z them. Yeah. So like that's who you're around. And they got to the point where they was in the business of not just making good music, but making like hit records and making, so that was a part of the DNA. And so here it is, you got somebody who got an MC hard, but I'm being brought up around these dudes that's trying to make hit songs and hot records. And so the rapping element came in, whereas I think, like I said, with Kendrick, I'm just trying to be the best MC I could be. You know what I'm saying? Fuck a hit. Like I'm trying to make a dope ass song, like, and that's what it was. But like with Drake, I don't trust Drake. We all in here, right? You know what I'm saying? Like now again, if it's going back home, going back to your team, we'll send you the verse and the hook, and you send us your verse back. Oh, he killing everybody. Yeah. But who's to say, like, you know, it's 6, 7 niggas in the room, and again, I'm not saying he don't come up with a majority. I don't know the levels of what he comes up with, but I just don't put him on the same caliber with some of those other cats.
Yeah. Nah, I'm with you. Like I think it's interesting because now I don't know if you saw too. Like a lot of people have, well, let's say once you go and follow people on Instagram and stuff like that. That mean Rick Ross, I think they said had an issue with him. He unfollowed Drake or something like that. Who else? Meek Mill. It was a couple other people. Not Meek Mill, but it was a couple other MCs that seen now, along with Future and stuff, got an issue kind of with Drake because Drake came out, I think, on his concert. I think he on tour now with Lil Wayne and doing some other stuff. But he came out and said, you know, how he's doing and I'm doing fine. Da, 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 da. Like just me, it sounds like this is kind of getting to him a little bit. You know what I mean? It sounds like he kind of, because Future was his dude. You know what I'm saying? They made a joint album. They did. You know, a lot of people say that's some of his best work. Mm-hmm. Future, Kendrick getting into him, like, you know what I mean? Like this is different. This is not Meek Mill. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is not. No. Yeah, this is not Meek Mill. So you're not just going, you know, come with a back to back and you know what I mean? Like like no, this is a different. This is a Mount Rushmore competition.
And I don't have, and I'm not a Drake hater. I have back to back in my playlist. I got Lighted Up in my playlist.
It's a good record.
I got Forever in my playlist.
For sure.
Like, is certain joints that like I rock with.
The joint, was it So Far Gone?
Was it?
No, the joint with Eminem and Lil Wayne and.
No, that's Forever.
That's Forever. Okay.
Yeah, forever. With Kanye, Eminem, Lil Wayne, and Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He got some joints.
But like I said, like in the joints that I mess with.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? But then the other stuff that I don't like, I'm not just finna be like, nigga, I like this nigga because.
Yeah. And he do a good job too because his dad is from Memphis, so he got a lot of Memphis dudes because he messed with us tough because he has put people on in Memphis that others like he messed with Project Pat tough. He has quoted Project Pat in a few of his lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Especially that 0 to 100. He had him in the video, him and Juicy. You know, so he messed with Memphis tough, and so a lot of people here are more biased to Drake.
I ain't gonna lie, nigga. You know what I said, nigga. If that nigga come with a bag and say I want you to ghostwrite for me, nigga, I know what I said.
Yeah. Do it. Nigga,
I said I'd never ghostwrite, and I got my money, and I was gone. Hey,
you better.
Now, like, nigga, just
please.
Talking about 28-year-old me, like, no, nigga, 28 was a while ago. Fuck that, nigga. I'm whoever, nigga. I'm right. Whoever need a verse, verses for sale.
You do that Diddy, you take that. You know, but not. You know,
Yeah.
not, yeah. Take the opportunity. Take the opportunity.
Man.
Take the opportunity.
Shoot, they should have had Diddy on them old Mountain Dew commercials, you know, do to do. Like Diddy definitely did to do and some more stuff.
Oh boy, the Diddy, like, yeah, it's but yeah, man, I think I'm here for it because I heard your evil twin, Joe Budden, talk about it a little bit. You know, he's been actually saying this for years about what if, you know, they kind of, because they've been kind of jabbing each other back and forth.
Right.
Cole and, you know, Kendrick, he was like, I think he was saying like it's gonna happen. I don't know if Drake was in the picture, so to speak, but he was like, he saw this coming, and so if it actually goes down, like, because just with rap, the way I see it, it's like you can have once somebody diss you, you kind of on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't. People be like, man, what's the like? Nah, you can't. If somebody diss you like that and it's like that, like you can't wait 2 months and come out with something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not how we grew up. I'm not sure what the standard is now, but once Kendrick came out what he did, if Cole is going to respond, he's going to respond within these next 2 weeks, I think.
Right. Do like LL Cool J and this dude on the song.
Yeah, yeah.
Get it? Oh, Ludacris and
T.I.?
T.I. on this Stomp song.
That's still one of the coldest ever to me.
Yeah.
That's one of the That's still one of the coldest right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I mean, but like, so I mean, because again, like, I don't know why people trying to act like Drake. If Drake was a boxer, he'd be like what 1-5, because he got Meek Mill, but like he didn't beat Common.
I forgot about
You know what I'm saying? Like on the Stay Scheming remix, and it was over.
Yeah.
When the nigga told the nigga he was Canada Dry, like it was over. It was over.
Yeah. I forgot about the.
You know what I'm saying? And like, I mean, think about it. Like, Common put down Ice Cube, who at the time was a Mount Rushmore nigga at the time.
He was. Yeah.
So like, and Common put him down.
Yeah.
So like, you should have known better. A giant still a giant even if he sleep, nigga. Like, it don't, he just sleep. He's still a giant. Like he lost to Push.
For sure. I think
nobody credits Joe Budden. He didn't beat Joe Budden. Yeah. It go back, like, go YouTube it.
Yeah.
But and so people say, oh, sometimes not responding is a more powerful response. No, he knew he could withstand. Common is like kind of like Kendrick. He put out music every so often.
Yeah.
I can live with that because I'm dropping the album tomorrow. So fuck Common. Like that's what he on. Oh, I could deal with Push because Push ain't as commercial as me. Even though he got a way bigger fuck, but he ain't as commercial as me. Joe Budden was dissing him, but like Joe Budden was like, I'm damn near retired. Yeah. And he's mostly underground. Like that's the way Drake is looking at him. But now Kendrick coming at you. Kendrick is as mainstream as you are. Mm-hmm. This nigga got a Pulitzer. Mm-hmm. He on a whole nother level already.
It's different.
Like I can't ignore it, but I might not be able to win. Mm-hmm. And we only talking about credible threats. There's probably been some other people like Quinn Miller and Safari, them taking shots at, but like the credible people, like you beat Meek Mill.
Mm-hmm. He did.
But you didn't beat Common. You didn't beat Push. You didn't beat Joe Budden. You're not finna beat K Dot. No. You see what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah, it's there. It's there. Like that's I'm here for it, man, because I think that's kind of what, you know, with anything. If you put an example out there, if K Dot and Cole go at it, I think that would do good for the game. You know what I'm saying? It would kind of.
Oh man, if they have albums where they both dropping subliminals, like they both of their albums gonna do numbers just off of that.
For sure. That's what I'm saying. So I'm here for it. Now we brought up this, like I tried to kind of throw it off a little bit, but this is exposure season. You know what I'm saying? Like clearly, 2024 is on something different. Like, and it literally started with the Cat Williams, the beginning of
Right,
the year.
the beginning of the year.
Beginning of the year. And do you remember on that one, he actually said something about Diddy.
Yeah, he did.
He did. He actually said something about Diddy. Like, he was forecast. You know what I mean? Like, now, with this whole thing, I don't know for sure if you watched it, but it's called Quiet on Set.
Yeah,
it's the Nickelodeon.
And it's a four-part documentary.
It's a four-part documentary, and it's talking about a lot of the child stars had issues coming up in Nickelodeon land with Dan Snyder, which actually he's a Memphian.
Yeah,
he's from Memphis.
Oh shoot! And it's actually I didn't even see this. I'm looking at it.
What's that?
So so I guess it's not done yet because another one's supposed to be coming out. Another episode.
Oh, another episode. Okay.
Because I watched the first 4 because there's only 4 of them.
It is, yeah.
But yeah, it's like 5 come out April the 7th. So like
another 5?
I guess. Yeah, no. I'm saying it's 5. Yeah, episode. Okay. Yeah, the 5th episode.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's gonna be like a whole, series or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It said Quiet on Set to launch bonus 5th episode, Breaking the Silence.
Yeah, it's like that whole thing, man. It's like when you look at that stuff, and people are now just kind of coming out with, their story or their thing, because you can kind of get it, because if you look at the episodes, you can see you a child star, you making, especially Dan Snyder, he's the guy at the time at Nickelodeon making hand over fist money, and so it's like if your child is, having some issues or see something that's funny, it's like you probably not gonna come up and say nothing, because probably at that time that kid is the breadwinner of the family. You know what I mean? And so now you stop your life, if you're a parent, to now be there with that child, go down to Universal Studios, wherever that they're filming at, and now you're like I'm leaving my job because this is now the breadwinner. And so now, would you be comfortable in actually, confronting the person that actually has the destiny in your hand? Like, it's a tough situation. Like, I think we can all be like, hey man, I will take up for my child and say in that situation. But it's like, you see an opportunity, and at the time too, you gotta look at the culture. The culture at that time was not like it is today.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I think you mentioned it too on a couple pods ago, just about the difference in white humor and us.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Like, the white humor, like, it is kind of quirky, kind of like I hear you, but it's kind of like it was some of that going on. Even when I'm looking at the documentary, it was like, looking at a lens of 2024 today, you would be like, yeah, that's super weird. But even back then, they had the pickle boy.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that got arrested.
Yeah, he got arrested. Mm-hmm. They had the pickle boy on there. And so when you look at people like him, it's like, yeah, that's kind of weird, pickle boy, when you look at it in today's lens. But back then in the 90s, it's kind of like, okay, not my cup of tea, but okay, whatever. You know what I mean? So I think the whole thing with the Nickelodeon is really unfortunate. And looking at it, Dan Snyder pretty much denied everything. He's denying saying some of the things that they said he said, being in the room, putting stuff out there like that. But yeah, man, it's like when you put stuff in that. What's the dude, the pickle boy? I don't know his name.
So his name was Brian Peck.
Brian Peck. Now, I was just actually watching it tonight before we even started. The dude.
Which episode did you make it to?
3.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so you saw, like, it was an old not VHS, but some old footage of him with Leonardo DiCaprio. When Leonardo DiCaprio was on Growing Pains, and how he was touching his arm and stuff like that. And dude from Drake and Josh's dad was like, the way he was rubbing, like he was inappropriate. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And like that pickle boy dude, I think they had some type of.
That's him though. That's the Pickle
That's
Boy
him.
dude. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
yeah,
him.
yeah,
Yeah,
right,
that's
right.
him. Mm-hmm.
He was having a get together, whatever, at his house, and one of the child stars was in his garage or something, and saw like a picture of a clown, and he was like, he was excited to tell him, what was going on, and it was actually John Wayne
Gacy, yeah, John Wayne Gacy.
Gacy,
Right,
like
the serial killer.
the serial killer,
Right,
like
the dub, the killer clown.
yeah,
Right.
and that was, and he was his pen pal in jail, and like it's like I know it because I watched a documentary on Netflix, and so I didn't really know kind of who he was until I was like, this dude was pretty sick, and so a dude having somebody like him in his garage and being happy that he's friends with him or that he's and the clown too, and the clown thing, it looks funny, but that was how he killed people.
Yeah, that was how he met his victims.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like the whole thing was sick and twisted because then he brought kids into it and stuff, and it was like, and it seemed like him and Dan Snyder were kind of in cahoots with each other as far as having this type of kind of fetish for kids and stuff like that. And it's like they coming out with it now. I've seen some people saying that they trying to clout chase, and some of the child stars, they're not popping now, so it's like this is their thing to kind of get back into the forefront, which whatever, what I mean. But it's like at that time, just what we talked about before with Diddy, when you have that much power, that much influence, that much money, what I mean? He pretty much at this time in the mid to late 90s is running Nickelodeon. You know what I mean? Like without him.
Yeah, all they big shows.
Yeah, all the big shows was because of Dan Snyder.
Right.
You know what I mean? I looked like, damn, that's the dude that was in the Good Burger. The first Good Burger.
Right. I'll
was in
see
the
you
front.
in hell.
Yeah.
At the counter. That was him. That was
him.
Dan Snyder.
That was Dan Snyder. And he was on the head of the class.
Right.
And then when they said
with Robin Givens.
Yeah. And I didn't even know he wrote that.
Yeah.
I didn't know he helped write most
the
of
whole
stuff.
premise for the show.
Yeah. And so, he was when you're a writer on a show, it's like you're the guy. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't literally live without you putting stuff out there like that. And so with Dan Snyder doing what he do, and then having, someone it seemed like he was a sect. He didn't like women being in any position
In the writer's room.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
He had women sharing a salary.
Yeah, that part tripped me out.
That was the crazy. He had women sharing a salary. And they had men, all the men, whatever. They didn't have to share a salary, but it was like that whole Nickelodeon thing, man. It's like, it's unfortunate, but it's like now. What's the girl name? Amanda Bynes.
Right.
She had that Amanda show.
Right.
Now,
she used to play on all that, and then the Amanda show,
and
that WB show. What I Like About You.
Yeah. She was kind of past my time. Like I remember watching I was an All That fan. I watched All That, but when her show came out, I was 18. I was
we was off of that, right?
Yeah, so it wasn't. I was like really wasn't on her like that, but just how, if you look at what she did is on now. Like she's depressed. She done been clinically depressed. I think she's been diagnosed
like Betty
with
Ford clinic.
Yeah, I think she's been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. You know what I mean? All because of a lot of the stuff she went through with Dan Snyder and the stuff she did with like Nickelodeon. And it's like when you look at that, I mean, obviously my heart goes out to them that was into that drama of what's going on. But it's like now, I guess they got the courage or the heart, to say something about it, But what you think about it, bro?
Okay, so we be responsible with what we're doing. Let's make it clear, and although Dan Snyder's definitely making Memphis look bad.
I know when they said when they said he was.
I said, hold on, wait, what? I had to Google it. I paused it.
I did the same.
I was like, oh. But
I wonder what high school you went to, bro.
Right now, I couldn't find it. I was looking. I was looking.
Me too.
I
was looking too.
Shout out to Chris Parnell, who's actually making Memphis look good. Used to play on Saturday Night Live
Yeah,
and
yep, yep, yep.
do a lot of voice acting. But he was never accused of any sexual assault or sexual misconduct. So like let's say that like all of Dan Snyder stuff was more so being how you said talk about toxic workplace environment, maybe being misogynistic, definitely like a perverted sense of humor, probably something that shouldn't have been around kids. So like for the other people, and of course they're interviewing these folks that they're not the people who came forward and made the allegations.
Yeah.
All they attested to was just stuff that they felt, on the show or whatever. So like it was one kid that used to play on all that.
Throwing the black head.
Yeah. And they didn't get Keenan and Kel or Amanda Bynes wasn't on there or the big girl that used to play on the Steve Harvey show.
I know you're talking about.
She used to be on all that too. They didn't get her.
Yeah.
It's like I'm looking for some of these other folks. I'm like, Raven ain't on there. I'm like, where are these? Like, so they only got certain ones. Yep. But so the guy's name is Leon Frierson. He played on 2 seasons of all that. He played as a character. One of the characters he played in was called Captain Big Nose.
Yeah,
and so
yep.
if you look now at the time, we wasn't thinking that, but like the first, I didn't even remember it at the time, but like when I'm looking at it, I remember when they showed the clip of him busting through the door. I'm like, dang, that little boy got a dick on his face. Because that's the way they made the notch. Like it looked like he was wearing
on his shoulders too.
And then the shoulder pads, like the 2 noses, but like the way the nose looked and the nostrils, it looked like 2 balls and a hard dick.
Yep, it did. Yep.
And so even before they said where it was going, when I saw it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay. And then when he sneezed and he snotted on the girl, like the way it looked.
Yeah, it looked like it
like
was
we talked about porn, like it looked like a cum shot. It looked like a money shot. You know what I'm saying? Like she covered it, you know what I'm saying? And like it was a lot of stuff like that where I forget the other one. It was I think it was Britney Spears' sister. But like they was in the cafeteria and the girl was like, she was trying to get something open the way she was open, and it was it skeeted on her face. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it was stuff like that, or Ariana Grande.
Trying to open up potato.
Yeah, and she was sitting there the way she was squeezing the potato and like laying down and had it up and like I'm like that's the superhead.
Yeah. Can I get some water out this potato?
Yeah, and you know what I'm saying? Or like even when she had one where she was pouring the water on herself. You know what I'm saying? Like so you don't have to do anything to a child. Like all of that's inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you can wink, nudge, nudge to the adults in the room, but like you got kids doing that. Like that ain't cool. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And even, forget being a parent. Like when I was teaching, it would be certain times like me and you sitting up here talking, we didn't talk about certain stuff around the kids.
Right. Yeah.
Man, what you do this weekend? All right, man, I'll tell you later on. Right. Cause like them kids be
impressionable.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember homeboy, I'll show you the video off camera, but he kind of remixed the song that off the Making My Way Downtown. Like dude had a song he remixes like Making My Way Through the Hood sipping this yak. So I come into class one day, like I had just heard it, and I'm telling people, like I said, making my way through the hood, and I stopped, and one of the little kids, Mr. Reagan, I know what you were saying. I was like, what you talking about? He's like, you making my way through the hood, drinking this yak. And like that talk, like, man, the responsibility we got, because these kids ain't as unaware as we think they are. So it's inappropriate to be doing that around kids. And so the thing about him getting massages, and sometimes it'd be grown women, but sometimes it would be, you sitting there and one of Amanda Bynes is sitting there rubbing your forehead or rubbing, like that's inappropriate. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's slick, look like grooming. Mm-hmm. And time will tell if she come forward or somebody else come forward. Now again, so because we don't want to be irresponsible, nobody's come through and said that he's done anything sexual, but it was also the tone of, like I said, a lot of the phallic jokes. Then you got the other guy. His name was Brian Hearn. Okay. He was the one that always had the headband on in the pictures. Yeah. But he was saying like he felt like he was kind of standoffish towards him. Like the white kids, he was more favorable to. He was kind of standoffish towards him. But like in his first sketch, they had him selling the Girl Scout cookies like he was a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? And like even when you watch it, he like, "How, hey man, I got them cookies for you. Got the cookies." He's like, "Oh, what you got?" "Hey, shut up. You know, like what you want?" You know, like.
Yeah.
And his mom was like, "Oh, so you got the black kid like he a crack dealer." You know what I'm saying? Like it was a lot of stuff like that. It was another one where he played Fetus Boy, where he was supposed to be the world's youngest rapper.
Yeah.
And he was like somebody. And now this moment, he said like he kind of broke down because he had to have on like a bodysuit. The bodysuit had to match his skin tone. And one of the other writers was like, "Oh, it need to be the color of charcoal." And he said he was like 11 or 12 at the time, but he said he knew that was wrong. He said he got ready to start crying. And he said the person doing his makeup was like, "Hey, man, don't worry about that bullshit. Like, man, you know, forget what they talking about."
Yeah.
So that was some of the type of stuff that Dan Snyder talked about. And even how you alluded to. You know me, I make jokes. I'm all the way inappropriate with adults.
Right.
Let me put that out there. With adults.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if somebody is not comfortable with it, it's not I'm going to force my sense of humor on you. If you don't get down like that, if that ain't how you talk or joke, you know what I'm saying? Like you know my mom. I don't never make those type of jokes around my mom. Right. Not because it's my mom, but just because I know how she, and I don't even want to feel like having that conversation. So I'll never do that around my mom. You know, to my dad, he know my sense of humor. I don't go too far.
Right. But you
because I taper it off. But now if I'm with y'all, but again, I know what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna just put that on everybody. Yeah. He did a lot of that with the women who were on the show, where it was just like, I'm your boss and I'm gonna be inappropriate, which is abuse of power, and that's wrong. Yeah. Period.
It sounded like he was testing them too.
Right, to see exactly.
Yeah, just to see, like he was asking them questions. I think one of them asking them questions like, "You don't mind if I call you girls?" Like,
right.
It was her and the other that was sharing the salary. He was like, "You don't mind if I call you girls?" And he was like, "Well, we're good because I don't like those, type of girls that they got an issue with, me calling them something like that." And so the girl was like, "Well, now from that point on, she knew
what the right answer was."
Yeah. It was a right or wrong answer for what he was asking. It wasn't just, "Oh, just tell me how you feel."
Right.
It was, if you say the wrong thing, your job may be in jeopardy. You know what I mean? So
to the people who are not clout chasing, so, and I don't know if you got to this point, but like one of the guys, his name was John Handy. He was a PA, production assistant, and he was essentially the one that like while they were in between sets, he's walking the kids around the sets, like he's around all the kids and stuff like that. He was the guy. He ended up getting arrested. They found he had all types of child pornography in his house. They found, like they say, he had Ziploc bags with like keepsakes from different girls. Like one girl, he had like a 9-year-old girl's underwear in a Ziploc bag. It was one girl, she was only featured on the Amanda Show, and her mom just pulled her out of Hollywood afterwards. But she was like, the dude had sent her an email.
Was that the black girl?
No, not the black girl. It was a white girl named Brandy. But he sent her an email of himself like naked, jacking off. And he said, "I just wanted you to know I was thinking about you."
Wow.
But like it started off like it's like, "Oh, hey, didn't know if you'd be interested in audition going on here. Just checking, hope it was well, all's well, Junior." Like he was doing that for months, but then it got to that point. But then they had also been writing each other letters. And so he had letters in a Ziploc bag that he wrote to the Brandy girl. And it was just like other little, like necklaces, like little keepsakes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so like the black girl was like, she was shocked because it's like, like, oh, he'd be around or whatever. He seemed like, me and another girl, we was having Bible study. He sat in with us when we was having Bible study. Like we thought he was, just a regular guy from Nebraska. So he actually was one of the people that went to jail. And the other guy, Pickle Boy, Brian Peck, the guy who actually exposed him played on the show Drake and Josh. He also played on he was on the Amanda Show first, and then they liked him so much on the Amanda Show They gave it him and Josh. And so Brian Peck Pickle Boy actually did sexually assault him. And when he got arrested, the kid that was John Doe was actually Drake Bell. But because he was a minor, they didn't put his name in the paperwork. They sealed his name up. So he was just John Doe. Yeah. So he wasn't clout chasing. This was back in 03. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was his testimony that got him, like, all 11 counts of him assaulting a child was Drake Bell. And so Drake Bell actually comes out, and, like, when they was like, even some of the other kids was like, hold up, it happened to somebody on the show. And so they had the screen black, and you could see somebody coming up, and then when they pulled the lights up, I'm like, oh, that's Drake and you know what I'm saying? And he was like, this is my first time telling this on camera. You know, but he was like, I was John Doe when he got arrested. To his dad's credit, his dad used to be his manager, and his dad, like, the whole time was like, I'm not comfortable, you know, with this guy. Like, he just seemed to, like, even the Pickle Boy, like the scene with Ray Romano from Everybody Loves Raymond, he locked in the bathroom. So the hole in the door, that's like a glory hole. Right. If you know what I'm saying, if you watch, and for those of y'all, like, I'm not gonna tell y'all what a glory hole is. Y'all go look it up. But if y'all remember the movie Scary Movie 2, that was how Omar Epps got killed in the bathroom. If you remember, Scary Movie 2, the glory hole, like it was the thing coming through the hole, and he put his ear up there, like that's what a glory hole is. You stick it in there, and you don't know somebody gonna play with it or whatever on the other end. So he sticks a pickle in the door, which is a phallic-shaped object. And for those of you all who don't know what that means, a phallus or a phallic-shaped object is anything shaped like a dick or a penis. Yeah. And he sticks the pickle through the hole, and Ray Romano grabs the pickle, and then the way he even ate the pickle, it was all.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was all hypersexual. It was very inappropriate. Yeah. And again, at that time, like, I was like you at that time. By the time I remembered it, but I really wasn't watching it at that point. I was more like Salute Your Shorts, which was another show that he came up with. Keenan and Kel, all of that, the first few early seasons. Like, I remember when Amanda first came on, she was like a little girl on all of that.
But I never really watched a show like that. You know what I mean?
But by the time the Pickle Boy got on to what he was doing and everything, like, I was off Nickelodeon then. Pretty much. But looking back at some of the stuff, like when I saw it, watching the documentary, I just saw it yesterday. Right. So I'm seeing everything in the documentary for the first time. But like, as soon as I'm seeing certain stuff, I'm like, oh, I already know where this is going. And then they show it or they say it, and I'm like, yep. But so now, John Handy was one who was sexually assaulting a lot of young girls. And then Brian Peck was definitely sexually assaulting Drake Bell. And he even, like, the way he set it up, he got in between Drake Bell and his dad, told him, you know, I don't think your dad needs to be your manager. He's holding you back. He's going to hurt your auditions. Got cool with Drake's mom, and they were divorced, so he got in good with the mom. Yep. So now the mom is like, oh, well, I'll do it. Yep. And the dad was like, I remember when he called me to tell me, like, oh, he's going to jail. He was like, who? He's like, man, they got him. He's like, who? He's like, Brian. He's like, they got him? He's like, yeah, man, you know, for sexual assault. He's like, you know what? I always knew it was something right about him. He's like, I'm so glad that they got him before he could get to you. And Drake was like, the whole time, he said, me and my dad, we had just started back building our relationship. He said, I didn't have the heart to tell him. And so they go back and ask his dad, like, how do you feel now knowing, because you said, I'm glad he didn't get to you. You know, and I'm glad they got him before he hurt anybody else. And like, man, dad just broke down. He was like, I'm still not over that.
I bet. How can you?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. As a dad that's, like, involved, you know what I mean? Like,
right. And he said when they was trying to, like, take him to court and everything, he said, look, I want what my son want. If my son say he don't want me to be his manager no more, if that's what he want.
Yeah, that whole thing, it's like, it's next level. But it's I wouldn't be surprised to be some more stuff coming out now, as far as
With you saying that,
coming out.
the Casey brothers, one of them played on That's So Raven, and the other one played on it was another show. I forget the name of it. But it was two brothers, and their mom, she came out in defense of Dan Snyder, and basically like, I'm not gonna throw him under the bus just because y'all said I never had a bad experience with him. He never did anything to my kids,
Right, that's fair.
and so,
Yeah,
but one of the sons was like, my mom is not gonna tell my story, and I don't need her to tell my story. When it's time for me to tell my story, I'm gonna tell it. And ain't gonna, so he didn't say Dan Snyder, but he also did not say Dan Snyder.
Yeah.
But he's like, when it's time for me to talk, y'all gonna hear what I got to say about whatever. Also, the guy, Lil JJ,
Legit.
he had a show that was on Nickelodeon called Just Jordan.
Yeah.
And he had a tweet or something he put out. Was like, oh, my show was canceled after the second season. I ain't giving up no ass. It's like, I don't know if he was joking about that. You know what I'm saying? But he actually tweeted that out, or X'd it now, I guess. I don't know what you call it. It used to be tweeting.
Yeah.
But so it is a lot more people, because there's a lot of shows that he was either the writer or the producer on, or the creator of. And so again, like you talking about Orlando Brown, like
Oh yeah.
you know Orlando, he ain't said nothing yet.
He all. If he come out with something, it's
And
gonna
he
be
also
crazy.
said Diddy too, but
Yeah. So, yeah, man. So all that stuff is interesting. Which I'm sure there's gonna be more coming. When it comes to that. Now,
now before you gonna let me just say, man, I appreciate you even with that topic, because you already know, like, stuff like that is very sensitive to me, and being somebody who
for sure.
a survivor of that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't play about that. That's why I don't play about children. I don't play about my kids or nobody else's. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I see you hurting a kid, like, being you finna have, and I ain't talking about them messing up and getting their ass whooped, but I mean, like, abuse or being sexually inappropriate, grooming. Like, I don't play that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'll do life in the box. So when I see stuff like this, we need to be made aware of it, because we just need to be woke as parents in the right way. You know what I'm saying? And making sure we're aware of what our kids are doing, what they're watching.
Yeah, I can't. When I see stuff like that, I'm like, you try to put yourself in that position. It's like, what if one of my 4 kids was put in that position? Nigga, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no telling what lengths you would go, especially my baby girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with my boys, like, you can't imagine. I couldn't imagine somebody inappropriately, doing that to them, and taking it lightly. You know what I'm saying? Like that, somebody I can put hands on, like, whatever the consequences are, that that's what they are. But somebody put on your hands on kids of that nature, like. But we're living in a different time now, to where it's like, almost kids, kids call on their parents for getting a switch for my slide now. You know what I mean? Like, let alone some stranger, touching them in their balls. You know what I'm saying? Like, they gonna come home and tell, more than likely. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know if I told, like, the time I was doing my security gig, and I'm walking, one of the little boys is like, Mr. Policeman. And before I could even say, like, I'm not the police, he's like, can you take my mama to jail? I'm like, why?
Wow.
So now I'm listening. He's like, cause she gave me a whooping.
Wow.
I'm like, what'd you get a whooping for? I wasn't doing nothing. She just gave me. I said, so you wasn't doing nothing? He was like, well, I was. He said he was doing something, and she told him to stop, and he kept doing it. And he was like, but then she gave him, like, okay, but did you stop? Well, no, I didn't stop. But I'm like, okay, well, I'm not saying she should have gave you a whooping, but, like, did she tell you to stop first? Like, yeah. How many times? I don't know. Like, so she's constantly telling you to stop. Like, okay, but like how you said, they call and they want he want me to take his mama to jail because he got a whooping.
And somebody in that other position, if they weren't you,
Right.
and they were like
Yeah.
trying to prove something or trying to be, you know what I'm saying, something
A
different.
Captain Save him.
Exactly. They would go and, you know what I'm saying, file a complaint or a
Right.
report or whatever that is. And so.
And then when this kid breaking into your house, then you're going to be like, who raised him? Nobody, because you sent his mama to jail, goofy.
Exactly. So, yeah, man, that's interesting. Now, before we shut down here, like, are you privy to, like, the NFL? Some of the, like, it's a couple rules that they changed, but one I wanted to hit on is the.
Apparently, ain't going to be no hitting, apparently.
Clearly.
Like, niggas going to be playing flag football, apparently.
They just banned the.
Let's go to the hip drop.
The hip drop tackle. Now, if you're familiar with the hip drop tackle, if you ever watched Derrick Henry run, this is how they tackle him. Like literally, this dude is 6'5", 250, and once he gets a smidget past you, you're not. That's the way you have to tackle him.
Because all of the other ways that you used to be able to tackle, they've banned.
Man.
You just like you can't. Of course, now the horse collar I get.
Yeah, I get that.
Because essentially, generally, what happens is if I'm running this way, and they're pulling me back, so it's a lot of like knees, ankles, foots, neck that can hurt. I get that.
Yeah.
But like essentially, the hip drop is not just Henry. But it's also, if you're running and somebody just bowls you over, there's a lot of people that was getting hurt that way because I'm like driving you into the ground. So now with the hip drop, when I tackle you, I'm turning basically, so I'm landing on I'm actually taking the brunt of the impact.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, well, out of 600, and like I was reading one article, well, out of 630 hip drop tackles, 15 people got injured. Not even 10%. That is not even 10%. 10% of 630 is 63. If 63 people got hurt, that's 10%. 5% would be half of that. So if 30-something people got hurt, that's 5%. So 15 people getting hurt, you're talking about 2.5% of the time.
Yeah, it's different, dog. Like, to me, you can't, like, if you do tackle that way, I'm assuming they're going to give you a flag.
No, now they said they're going to start fining.
They're going to fine.
As well.
See, that's crazy. Like, it's to the point to now, it's like, because at the end of the day, you know when you sign up for the NFL, that's why a lot of NFL players, if you look at the Pivot podcast or other podcasts that have like football players on it, you have NFL players just saying that I wouldn't want my child to play football. You know, because
it's not the same sport.
It's not the same sport. And so when you try to ban the hip drop tackle, it's almost like you're going to be playing a different sport. Because if they do it in the NFL, now they got to teach it in the Pee Wee, the stuff that EJ
in college, high school,
and all. You know what I mean? So it's like, so if a dude got a step on you, theoretically you may have to just let him go. Because if he get a step on you, you can't horse collar because that's already been out there. So you can't now. If he got dreads, you can pull him by his hair.
No, I mean, even then you can't do that.
I thought you can pull somebody by the hair. I thought.
I mean, you may be right. You may be right. I didn't think that because I thought it was somebody. Matter of fact, it was somebody on y'all team that had like some hair and they got pulled down and it was like a flag for it.
Now, but everybody ain't got long hair though. So if somebody get a step on you, you can't hip drop tackle them. You can't trip them. That's a flag. So it's like you got to be quicker to get an angle on them, or it's just gonna be like. To me, what it sounds like is they trying to put the running backs in the forefront of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because if you look at the last few years, running backs has been like down. You know what I'm saying? Running backs ain't trying to not getting the money that they're used to getting. Because if you look at it, the hip drop tackle is mostly what you tackle running backs on. You know what I mean? Like if they don't get you a blind side, they got to get you, from behind.
I mean,
like
and
that.
even sometimes like with the quarterback though,
Quarterback too,
because you're not trying to hurt the quarterback. But no, like so if somebody's, I've seen it to where like if the quarterback is standing there, they'll grab the quarterback by the waist and they fall, holding like so they hip drop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're talking about more stationary guys like a Kirk Cousins or, people of that nature. But like, they do that as a way of like, because I don't want to hurt the quarterback. So I'm going to take the brunt of because I know how to land.
Yeah.
So I don't get hurt.
Yeah.
But now you taking that away, you already can't touch the quarterback as is. So like to that point, running quarter like Lamar Jack, like, how am I tackle this man?
Yeah. That's the point. Well, maybe that's their point. Because now they want to make it more like the NBA, more entertaining to where now defense is not in the forefront. Now we just got these gaudy numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So now in the NFL, you may have a game that's like, 46-35.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so maybe that's what they're trying to go for, but it just kind of take the purity out of the game because at the end of the day, when you play football, as they say, it's 100% injury rate. It's not. It's just a matter of what type of injury you have. Not if you're going to get injured, but you may have an injury that
not if, it's when.
It's when. You know what I mean? So I think we're gonna see. I play fantasy football, so now for me, I'm thinking of strategy when I draft. You know what I mean? So now it's like. Certain people like
the man finna draft our running backs.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like when you draft in fantasy football and you think of this rule, just like, dang, they ain't gonna be able to catch. What's his name? Bijan Robinson from
from Atlanta.
From the Falcons. So it's like
Saquon. McCaffrey.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, McCaffrey.
What's the guy you used to put? Josh Jacobs.
He with the Packers now.
Yeah.
And so like players like that. If you can't hip drop tackle them, it's like, bro, it's gonna be a problem. And so now, instead of you're gonna have these running backs having, 200-yard games. You know what I'm saying? More often than usual, because now 200-yard games for a running back is more rare.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I'm saying? But now you can't hip drop tackle them.
I'm trying to bring it back.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you're trying to bring back, kind of some of these records. So. We gonna see, man. I just think, and also I forgot the rule they put out there. It's the kickoff rule. It's a kickoff rule to where they're gonna put it like more like the XFL. You're gonna start at the 30-yard line.
Oh, okay.
And kind of bring it more to make it be more safer for the returner. For the returner to where it won't be just these on collisions. So, yeah, man. We'll see, man. We'll see. We'll kind of see how they go. You got anything else? We get down?
Yeah, no.
I think we got those are the things I think we wanted to cover.
Yeah.
And check out next week we got a good something coming out.
Yeah. We definitely do.
Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah. We got. Mm-hmm.
So is that hold up? You talking about the continuation episode?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely. Right. Yeah. So y'all check that out because we definitely got that coming out.
Yeah.
Next week.
That should definitely be interesting.
And then shoot, I guess whatever our next live one's gonna be a good one too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely want to hear what this person has to say.
Yeah.
On the live.
We got some stuff coming up, man. But y'all until next time, continue with that executive mindset.
And most definitely keep it presidential.
Salute.
Arrivederci. Bow.